The first smartphone came out in 1992 and it was called Simon Personal Communicator by IBM. Looking at it now, it is literally the size of a brick and probably weighed as much as a brick too. But this phone gave inspiration to the term smartphone, which we still use to this day. Now, skip over a couple of years and we were introduced to the BlackBerry. BlackBerry was made popular by Hollywood celebrities, and in South Africa, BBM and BIS made it even more popular. Until this happened.
An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. And we are calling it iPhone.
Around the same time, Google was working on their first Android smartphone. But after the announcement of the iPhone, they scrapped the idea completely and went back to the drawing board. Hi, my name is Wayne Hutame and welcome to my first YouTube video. Today, we will be exploring the rivalry between Android and iOS. Android versus iOS in 2020. If you're watching this video on your smartphone device, chances are you're either watching it on an Android device or an iOS device. That's an iPhone. What are the differences between these platforms? And which one is better, if there is one? Let's go through a list of 4 things that I think separates these two platforms. We are going to compare apples to apples. But the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes people want to take very cheap Android smartphone that sits here in terms of price point and compare it with a high-end iPhone that sits here in price. In the Android side of things, you have a couple of phones that would compete in that segment. You have the Samsung S series, the Note series, and then you have the Huawei P series and other smartphones such as the OnePlus, and Xiaomi also has flagship phones. Please subscribe and hit the like button below for more videos like this. And of course, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified of new videos. Customization. This is where Apple gives you what they think you need and that's it. iOS is simplified. Maybe too simplified for my liking. I switch between the two platforms and I found that I stay longer on Android. With Android, you can change the launcher, icon widgets, keyboard, install apps that can alter the behavior of your phone according to the different scenarios. Apps such as Tasker. Look, customization possibilities on Android is endless. In fact, you can get carried away with the customization if you're not too careful. Your phone could look like someone's Windows desktop. In iOS 14, which is coming out very soon, Apple have introduced widgets and app launchers. Now, these are some of the things that we are used to from Android, and it's because Android has been stealing many iPhone users. So instead, what iPhone have decided to do is to give people what they want. They're hoping that this strategy will bring back some of the iPhone users that have went to the other side. No, this side. Apps. The misconception here is that iOS apps are more secure than Android apps. What I have found is that iOS apps are better designed than Android apps, not necessarily more secure than Android apps. Especially social media apps, they just feel better aesthetically and functionally. A simple example is Facebook. The interactive buttons are on top on Android, which makes it slightly difficult when you are bed scrolling, especially with one hand. And on iOS, the bar is at the bottom, which makes it way easier. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on these two platforms. You can also share which platforms you are using and why you chose that platform. Okay, moving on to number 3. I know this is controversial for both platforms. Android is seen as less secure than iOS. I remember a response Capitec Bank gave to one of its customers about why Capitec does not allow Android users to capture a screenshot on their banking app, but iPhone users can. The reality is that iOS gives app developers less access to their platform. I think both platforms are similarly secure for an everyday user. If you were to fall victim of cyber criminals' attempt to trick you into giving out personal data, it really does not matter which platform you are on. Alright, features. First of all, Android is feature packed. If you want features, you buy an Android device. Period. But when Apple adds a feature to iOS, you best know it's going to work. Things on iOS just work. AirDrop, the camera, that famous iOS camera filter, iMessage, FaceTime. Android has an alternative for all of them. Messenger, which works exactly as iMessage. Duo, just like FaceTime. But on the Android side, these apps are not integrated with the Android operating system. And I know what you're asking. Is iOS more premium than Android? You see, the answer is more complex than a yes or a no. In terms of functionality, Android is more premium than iOS. But in terms of certain apps, especially social media apps, iOS is more premium than Android. Let me explain that further. Let's take Instagram for example. When Facebook implements changes to Instagram, they are able to integrate the feature to Instagram for iOS. For example, if there's a feature that requires you to use a camera, it's very easy for that feature to be integrated with the iPhone's camera. But it's not so with Android phones because there are so many other different manufacturers that produce Android phones. You have Huawei, Samsung, Xiaomi, Nokia, Hi, Tecno, Vivo, Mobis, you get the picture. So then, that Instagram feature will work differently depending on your phone's manufacturer. Google Assistant is way better than Siri. How far is Zanin?
The drive from your location to Zanin is 450 kilometers.
Give me directions to go there.
Zanin is 4 hours and 30 minutes from your location by car in light traffic. Here are your directions.
How far is Zanin?
It looks like Nene Fashions is about 32 kilometers away by car.
How far is Cape Town?
It looks like Cape Town is about 1,408 kilometers away by car.
Give me directions to go there.
Where would you like to go?
Apple supports its phones with updates. Phones as older as 4 years old. And then there's the fact that your iPhone will maintain value longer than Android. There's no one size fits all. If you like to tinker with your phone, if you get bored easily with your phone, if you want your phone to change your wallpaper for you every day, if you want to change your ringtone to your favorite song every week, screens without notches, expandable storage, then get an Android. But if you want a phone that can take a picture, post it on Instagram, and put it in your pocket, and repeat this with the same results every day, then get an iPhone. Let me know which platform you are using on the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.